All right, welcome to Mark and Travis. Mark and Travis talk.
Howdy.
How does that
Thanks
sound,
for joining.
Travis?
What's up, buddy?
How does that sound? Mark and Travis talk real estate.
I
Oh,
like it. Hey, Bridget. Right on. Mark will be right back.
yeah,
Thanks,
I haven't
everybody,
closed
for
my door
joining
because I
us.
can hear your voice about a second later.
Oh,
So
all right,
anyway,
cool.
very cool. Glad everybody's here. This is very cool. Hey, glad everybody's here. It'll fill up a little bit more, but we'll go ahead and start anyway because you guys were on
Yeah.
time. What the heck?
Yes.
Um, so exciting week. There are still things going on, guys, and we can show you some of the ways that we're doing what we're doing. And it's pretty exciting. Starting to see a little bit more action from door knocking, thanks to Travis pushing me out there to get me to do that again. Um, Open houses are killing it.
Yep.
I know a lot of people think door knocking and open houses are old fashioned, but you know what? I'll take the money that I'm making from them. Uh, but a lot of people also don't think they work, but you know what? Guess what? You go ahead and keep thinking that because that just leaves more open house opportunities for me and Travis and everybody.
100%. That's how I got my whole business started. Door knocking, open houses, old school, face to face, meeting with people, building your brand. That's it.
Yeah.
And of course, today we're going to, Mark's going to go over with you guys, some options we have when we are door knocking, and I'm going to go over, how to turn your current contacts into customers. And this is for new and experienced agents. But going back to what Mark said, open houses, door knocking are incredible.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I keep talking to people about, and we've paid, I don't know, I think between Travis and I, we've probably spent 50, $60,000 on lead generation. And
Yep,
I feel silly every time I do it, but I also think it's like playing the lottery. It's like, well, maybe this is the time that I'm actually gonna, oh, your lighting crew has just walked behind you, Travis. Um, a lot of people feel the same way as me. It's like, well, maybe it'll work this time because it sounds so good. But really, the reason we come on here is we want to show you guys ways to find
that's
business without spending a crap load of money and
yep.
things that work, right? So that's our two criteria for whatever we're talking about whenever we come on here. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about how you shouldn't ever walk away from an appointment without having something. And we oftentimes we are one trick ponies when we go to someone's house. But when you add in the investor hat, it just opens up so many doors for you that you never had before. And this is open to everybody that's here right now too, because even if you're don't have the money to invest or the know-how or anything else, you do know people that know how to do that, right? So if you have a smoking hot deal, bring it to us. We'll bring you into it, and you
Totally.
make some money. We'll make some money. Everything's great. And we're not here trolling for deals either. I'm just saying that what we're going to show you today, you can't go, well, that's great for them because that's what they do and they have the money and the know-how. Which, by the way, I didn't have the money or the know-how when I started. Uh, but there's whatever we share with you is stuff that you can use today. It's not something that you can do down in the future. It's today's
Absolutely.
stuff. So having said that, is there anything else you want to add, Travis, before we just jump right into it?
Real quick, since you're teaching that, I just want to say, I went from prior to get my real estate license, I was an investor. I flipped homes and I owned a lot of rental properties in Newport. And when I became a realtor, I just had my real estate hat on these past 10 years.
Yeah.
So looking back, Mark and I have had this conversation, looking back going, oh my God, I could have done this, I could have done that. So it's great working with Mark because now I have both hats on. And whenever I approach, when I'm outdoor knocking, I look at it and go, oh, I have different options. I could, do a deal with these people now. So
Yeah.
that's it. Off to you, Mark.
Yeah.
What
So
do you
so options, options, options. People love options, but if you give them too many, it gets confusing. So when I give a potential seller options, it's in a sort of methodical way so that I'm not giving them all the options at once. I go from A to B to C to D or whatever. I don't go, well, here's your four options. Do you pick one? I don't do that because number one, the first thing I'm looking for when I talk to a client, and I go into every listing looking for, or every listing appointment looking for a listing. All right. I'm not necessarily looking for all these other things, right? Because quite frankly, the easiest thing we can do, the very easiest thing we can do as real estate agents is to get a listing.
Yep.
And that's the be all end all. But as an investor, also, I have other arrows in my quiver that I can use to find more ways to help service the client. So I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit here. It's not like I haven't talked about this 8 million times since I started talking about investing. But so number one thing you got to do though is look for the motivation of the seller. Why are they selling? And so let's just use an example. Most people that I talk to want to move to a different house. They do. And so that's their motivation. But we don't know what kind of house. Like maybe they want to move into assisted living. Maybe they want to move into a smaller house. If they're younger, maybe they want to move into a bigger house. So we've got to really narrow it down. I know this is real estate 101, guys, but I'm leading to something here.
Mm-hmm.
Got to find their motivation. So many agents I talk to talk about, they throw up all over the potential client with what they can do for them, but they don't ask what they need, right? They're not asking,
Yes.
hey, what do you need? What can I help you with? They just start throwing up, well, I've sold 50 houses last year and I'm the best at what I do and I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and it's nothing about the client, right? It's every
About us. It's about the client.
what's that?
It's nothing about us. It is about the client.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
really,
God gave us 2 ears and one mouth to listen twice as much as we talk.
then
So you're right. The
they
motivation.
should have given us 4 ears then.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, it's insane. But anyway, nobody cares about how many houses you've sold. That might come up later on, but they want to know if you can help them with their particular situation. If it's just a straight listing because they're moving up in another house, they still have a motivation. So you want to find out what that motivation is. The next thing you want to understand, and there's only two things you want to find out before you can start kind of leading them down the path that they need to go down. The other thing is what's their time frame? All right, so we got motivation. I got a new job in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I got to sell right away. What's their time frame? I got to be out of here in a month, and I don't want this house sitting on the market after I'm gone. Okay, now we have their motivation. They're in a big ass hurry. A, and B, they're moving because they got a job relocation. So they're relocating because of a job. So now we've got pretty much all the ammunition we need. Now we just got to dive in and find out some more things about them. And those are super, super slow pitches. I mean, they're super easy questions. It's like, okay, so what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking to sell your home? Are you looking to hang on to it? What exactly? Why am I here exactly? And hopefully you got some of this information before you even set up the appointment. But I don't want to get into all of that. That's stuff we can cover later on. If you get those two questions answered, you pretty much have what you need. So here are, in no particular order, although I kind of use this order, here is the order. I mean, here are the four ways that you can, and I actually threw an extra one in, and I could have done 20, but I had to stop writing, of ways that you can get, if you can't just get a listing, there's other ways that you can get the deal or walk
Yeah.
out with some form of, what do they call it, remuneration, whatever, when you get paid. So number one is whenever I pull up to a house and walk into a house after I've asked my questions, I look at it as a flip, right? So the most bang for my buck generally, not always, but generally is flipping a house. Yes, the time frame is longer, but generally we've always got a flip going on and they pay pretty well and they don't take up a massive amount of my time anymore. So I look at it as a flip. The second one I look at is as a buy and hold. So, and when I get to number three, you'll understand how I do this. I look at every deal I walk up to as a flip or a buy and hold. And most of them turn into listings, right? Because they don't work that way, because the people have different motivations. but that's the way I look at it. Why do I do that? Because we don't have a retirement plan as real estate agents, right? So this is one thing, my recurring theme. And it's one thing that Travis and I talk about all the time, right? Travis says retirement doesn't exist for us.
Yeah. So we
So
have created.
yeah, we have to create our own retirement. And a lot of agents do. A lot of agents are investors, but the majority are not because they think they can't, or they're scared, or they just don't know how. So that's kind of where we come in, and we'll kind of guide you through that over the next few of these. So after flipping and buy and hold, number two, number three is how we tie those two together is creative financing, guys. So when we look at something uh, that say maybe somebody wants to sell quick and they're willing to take a little bit of a discount or quite a large discount because they got to move quick. I got to get to Tuscaloosa. I got to sell within 30 days. I got to do this. I got to do that. Well, we all know that listing a house and selling it and closing it in 30 days is, may as well say it's impossible. It's not, but it's near impossible. So they're left with different things. A lot of people just call me when they get to this situation. Mark, this isn't for me. I can't. I don't have time to list it. Do you want to buy it? It's like, yeah, I'll come out and talk. But why couldn't you guys do that? Why
Yeah.
could you not do that? So the one thing I always go for is seller finance on a deal like this. And believe me, I've got a couple more things I'm gonna get to here, guys. So don't lose interest. I always go for seller financing. Why is that? Well, most people that have a lot of equity in their house or have a house that's paid off know that they're going to get eaten up with capital gains. And so if they make if I'm allowed to make payments to them, they're only paying a small amount of capital gains every year rather than paying it all at once. And that to most people is very attractive. And I usually go into that situation with, look, like, especially if I'm going to buy and hold it, I ask them a simple question. It's like, how much cash flow are you making on this house now? If it's a rental, like, yeah, I work with a lot of tired landlords. So let's say you're working with a tired landlord that wants to sell a property, a house. And I would go to them and say, look, what is your monthly cash flow? The house is paid for. Um, you know your expenses. What do you end up with at the end of the day after taxes and insurance and maintenance and property management and all the other things that go along with it? And they'll say, I'm getting $1,200 a month. Well, what if I could give you $1,500 a month? I'll give you a nice down payment. I'll give you $1,500 a month. And would that be something that's attractive to you? So you'll still get your monthly income, but you'll get a little bit more, plus you'll get a nice big chunk down. And that is interesting to a lot of people, especially older people.
Yeah.
So that we've done numerous times. And that is a very, very attractive thing to a lot of people. And then we go into, the length of the term, and I'm going to go for, look, I want 20 years. And I don't even talk about interest until they do, because sometimes they're just happy with the $1,500 a month. So we'll just call that interest.
Yeah.
If that's, we'll just, okay, we'll give you $1,500 a month, and or I'll do it in a way that, and I don't want to get too deeply into the weeds because you know me, I'll get there. The other thing I'll do too is, look, I'll give you that $1,200 a month. I'll give you an extra $300 a month, but I want that to go towards the principal. And we'll do that for a 20-year term. How does that sound? And then we negotiate from there. So terms are the most important part of this particular thing that we're doing. So let's just say you don't want to do that. Let's say that's not going to, or they don't want to do that. Then if the next thing I would go to is straight to a listing, right? Okay, you guys obviously don't want to do that kind of thing. I get that. So here's what we can do to help you with a listing, and then we go over all the things that we can help them with. Not all the wonderful things about us. We talk about how we can help them and solve their problem. And then we've got a 2-page list of the things that we do for our clients when we list their house, all the way from, mega open houses to, always have manned open houses after that. And it's just a step-by-step list of things that we do from beginning to close of escrow. And it's very impressive. And when you think about everything that you do as an agent, and a lot of times people don't realize how much they do because you've been doing it so long. But my God, that list is huge. And giving someone a physical list every single time, I swear, every time we go into a listing appointment, that is the most important thing to these people. It's like, it's so impressive what you do. That's crazy. So anyway, we do that. So we take the listing. The other thing that I like to do is, if I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys before, but sometimes, you get done with a listing appointment, and you kind of get the feeling that they were never into it to begin with, and it was like, yeah, I'm kind of wasting my time here. And they didn't really want to sell in the first place. They just wanted me to evaluate their house, and I get that because I offer to do that for free. So at the very end, what I'll always, every single time, add on is, look, guys, looks like you guys are happy where you're at, but what would be the number that you would sell for today? And yes, we get people that have $500,000 houses, and this happens to us all the time when we're cold calling for investing. It's like, so what do you think your house is worth? It's worth $2 million when it's in reality worth $1 million. So you'll get some of that, but oftentimes you'll get people that actually want to um, talk to you about what they really would take for it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's retail, right? So I mean, has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, in fact, I do have somebody who's told me the price that he wants for his property. And so I do have an agreement. It's non-exclusive, but I have that agreement where if I brought somebody over who liked his house, I would get paid, my 3% commission. So
Yeah,
I do have that for somebody in that price range. Yes. So
yeah,
it's a great way it's something to use when you're out there meeting buyers. Yeah, I have pocket listings, and
yeah.
people love off-market properties. They're willing to pay more for them. So it's a great
Well,
tool to use if you can't get the listing, you
and the
know?
cool thing is that our brokerage, we're obviously both with the same brokerage, Real, and we have a private list of off-market deals, and I think we've got like 50 or 60 deals on there right now. And
Yeah.
this is something that we've been talking about for quite some time. And you never know what your buyer is willing to pay in reality until they see the property of their dreams. So it's this one-time showing agreement is an amazing tool to have in your tool belt. Plus, the other thing is, when you have buyers want to work with people that have off-market deals, because everybody's got this preconceived notion that off-market deals are better than on-market deals. And
Yep.
that's not always the case. So, but that's one of the things that we use at open house. Every single open house we do is, because I don't make people sign in when they walk in. I don't do that because that sets a tone I don't like. If it works for you, that's great. But I like to get to know people a little bit. And when they're winding down and getting ready to leave, it's like, guys, if this doesn't fit your needs, I have a pretty robust list of off-market properties, and if I can go through that, I'll see if there's something on there that does fit the criteria you're looking for. Can you just give me your name and your email real quick? And I don't have a form for that. I don't have a sign-in book. I
No,
actually use these. Where the hell are they?
I just use my little notepad here.
Yeah, I just use my notepad with my name on it and Yuko's name on it. I use those for everything now when I'm at open house. And then I get their information, and now they're on our buyers list.
Yep.
And the next thing, of course, is we'll hit them with a buyer's agreement so that we can actually represent them if we find something.
Yep.
So, and we're going to actually hit, when Travis is done talking about what he's talking about, we're going to talk about uh, open house, and we get killer deal reactions from our open houses. We get buyers, we get sellers. It's crazy. Um, and we'll talk about that and how we do it. So anyway, those are just some ideas for you to not walk out with something. And even if it's, look, it doesn't sound like I can help you with anything, but I've got a guy or I've got a girl that can help you with this one thing you're looking at. I've got someone that can pay cash. I've got this. And again, I'm not looking for you guys to try to find deals for me. I'm looking for things that you guys can do to get a fee of some sort before you walk out of that house. So
Yeah.
whatever you need to do to get a fee to earn something for your time and your expertise, you should try. So if you guys are interested in working with Travis and I on that, DM either one of us, and we'll be glad to jump on a call with you for discussing that. But hopefully that kind of gives you guys, and there's so many other things. Once you start thinking, I want you guys to make a list of what you can do to walk out with something rather than nothing. And
Yes.
it could be a referral. It could be anything, guys. It could be anything. Make a list. Be creative. Right there, the referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals, right? Don't be afraid. You're
Totally.
walking out empty-handed anyway. You may as well ask for the moon. Ask for the moon.
Totally.
Yeah. And you're going to keep in touch with them anyway. So, all right, Travis, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, so along with what you were talking about as far as what business we could get today, yeah, you never want to walk away empty-handed. And I just want to talk about how for new or even experienced realtors, how many people I come across who forget to, stay in touch with their complete database. And some people go to me, "Oh, I don't have a database. I haven't kept a database." Well, you do. If you've ever emailed your friends, your family, past clients, you have that database in your email list. So, like for example, with like your Gmail account, it's easy to go into your contacts, Gmail contacts, and you have everybody you've ever emailed. As long as you have that account, you have it right there. So what I would do is go on that contact list and choose every single person that you want to stay in touch with, for real estate. And it's not just your past customers and clients, it's people you've interacted with, colleagues, maybe you worked somewhere else, or people in other businesses, friends, family, all that. And so you could turn those contacts into customers. And so that's my big thing. And that's what I've been teaching a lot of people on our team is, hey, let's turn your contacts into customers. You do have a database,
But,
for example.
Travis, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
But I don't want to bug my friends with what I do. I don't want to
Oh my
bug
gosh.
everybody. I don't want to make everybody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's when some people say if they're good friends, they want to help you out, you
Yeah,
know?
truth.
And who better to trust with your real estate than your close friends? Nobody, you're looking out more for them than anybody else would. So don't let any fear of anything just sway you from not reaching out to them. And so I'll give you an example. I have this one realtor who's been in the business longer than me, and she didn't keep in touch with anybody. So we actually took all her contacts in her Gmail and we created a spreadsheet and created that spreadsheet. And now she has a spreadsheet to email to everybody once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, however often she wants to do it. Now we email once a week, and Mark and I actually provide people with content to send out every week that you could just copy and paste. So I have this realtor, like I said, who's been in the business for 30 plus years. And now she's actually emailing her database, her contacts. And then you look at that and you don't just email. Now what you do is you look at that and go, oh my gosh, I got to call this person up. I got to call this person up. Oh, this person works in this industry and they do HR for this company. Oh, how about I meet with them and see if I could be their preferred, vendor for real estate with this company. So it's taking everybody emailing them regularly, call them up, go break bread with them, go meet them for a coffee, for lunch, go out to dinner, happy hour, call them up, just tell them what you're doing. Um, meet with them face to face. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes right here because I just start rambling on. Email them, meet with them.
Well,
Um,
the funny thing is, everybody knows somebody that's buying or selling property right now. Everybody knows
yes,
somebody that's buying or selling something. I think the problem is we feel like we're being a nuisance when we talk to them about it. So we don't want to be throwing up all over everybody. But I mean, how many of your friends talk to you about what they do?
absolutely. And how many
Oh,
times
you
are we
should come
loyal
down to
to
the
our
dealership and
friends?
buy a car. You should all come down. I'll take care of you. Like, cool. I like that.
Right?
Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
that.
In fact, that's true. I did my this year I bought my
Hmm.
Bronco from a buddy of mine up in Thousand Oaks. I didn't question him about the price or anything because he's a friend. I know he'd take care of me. So if we have great friends, people care about us, vice versa, it's the same thing. They want to work with us. So
Yeah.
don't be scared. Reach out, contact them. And again, it's email them, it's call them, it's meet them. Now you have your database. You keep it in a spreadsheet and you start keeping track. And then Christmas time comes along. You send out Christmas cards, their birthdays, call them up for their birthday, take them out, send them a letter, invite them to your open houses, invite them to events that we have at our company,
I
so
mean,
this is an
Travis, I'm going
easy.
to interrupt you again. You
Yeah,
you actually sit down with our team members and help them do this, right?
yeah, I've done that. Now it's more, I've created a video series of how
Yeah.
to do that.
But
Absolutely.
you're still willing to do it for our team members, though. I know
I'm
that because I've
well,
seen
well,
you
absolutely.
did it last week. So I
You're
know.
right. We brought in this Sarah who just joined our team. She's a new realtor. And everything that I'm talking about here, she did it, and she just got a land listing, and she has two more listing appointments because she did exactly what I'm talking about here. So two, so this will be three listings she'll have, brand new realtor
In 2 weeks, though.
in 2 weeks because she actually did what I said. She actually reached out and started calling people, telling them what she's doing. Hey, can I come meet with you and talk to you more and see how I could help you out? Not exactly what I'm doing, but how could I help you out?
Yeah.
Do you want to invest in real estate? Everybody wants to invest in real estate. So let's go talk about that. And then that conversation could flow into referrals or, oh, my mom wants to sell her home because she wants to retire. So this is business you could get now, and it
Now
doesn't
business.
cost you anything.
Yeah. It's not pipeline business. So, like I said, I think last meeting we did, and maybe it was another, maybe a live even I did. I can't remember. But guys, there's a pipeline. Everybody has a pipeline for their business, right? You take this list of yours and you push that into the pipeline at the end, and you hope somebody spits out on the other end, right? And
Yeah.
and that's the same way with any lead generation thing you do. But this kind of turbocharges it because a lot of these people already know and trust you. So just imagine there's like a hole at the end of the pipe, right? Like the last couple of inches of the pipe, there's a hole coming in from the top. And you're able to drop people in that hole. They don't have to go through the entire process of calling and setting up appointments and schmoozing and doing all the things that it takes to get to know a client and get them to do business with you. These people are ready, willing, and able. You drop them in the into the pipe, right? Because these are people that you
Yeah.
already know,
There.
and they pop
Yeah.
out like that, right, Travis?
Absolutely. They already know you. And remember this too, guys, we could sell real estate anywhere in California. So, I primarily stick in Newport Beach, but like this year, I've sold a couple homes up in LA County, San Fernando Valley. What was it last year? A couple in Palm Springs. Earlier this year, I did one down in Cardiff. So my friends and family, my contacts, my past clients, they have properties in other areas. They have family members in other areas. So
Mhm.
remember that. And so that's the big thing. You got to stay in touch.
Yeah,
So again, this is new and experienced realtors.
yeah, yeah.
You
You
can
know,
get at least referral commission.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
true.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, Yuko. This is Yuko, everybody. This is Travis's and my boss. Um,
Yes.
um, but talk about because Yuko has quite the referral network, especially, I mean, she's got a Japanese community that's all over the world, but specifically the United States. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit about how you do that?
Well, the right now currently I have listings with a Japanese client that they purchased 4 years ago that now that they're moving to New York. So that property got on the market and one day we got a 5 offer. So it's in the process of closing escrow. But at the same time, so she's in New York and she was looking for a realtor. So I reached out one of our friends' realtor there, and I'm getting a referral. So I found this property for them and 4 years ago. It was in the COVID, so we did everything on video, and then we never met, and they never saw the property, but they moved in from other country to move in to other country in Japan to move in, and then they sold the property, and I'm the listing agent, and also I'm getting a referral for her new homes. So yeah, like Mark said, don't be afraid to ask for referral. So that's another thing that you can keep remembering asking. So
And I
that
don't
way.
know, I don't know if all brokers have it, but Real has this thing where you can talk to anybody in the country. We have like a chat group, and you can go in there and you can specifically look for different chat groups in areas. So you can find other realtors that are in your brokerage, because we like to keep things in the family if possible. And, we do a lot of networking events and meet other people. And you should have an extensive referral list of agents in different cities that you work with. That's 25%. 25%.
Yeah, but then, I think it's a business now or business tomorrow, or if you wanted to get the quick commission next month that everybody's talking about, especially a brand new agent doesn't have a database, or, you don't have a specific farm, you don't know who to talk to. It's great that, database and we can start emailing them. That's like a future customer. But I still think the open house is a lot of agent is underestimating.
Yeah.
And because Saturday, Sunday, I don't know, they don't want to work, but only just a couple of hours being there, right?
Yeah.
So when we have a listing, or I think I would suggest them to do the open house, because open house is somewhere that you can be there and the people coming interested in the property, either they want to buy or they wanted to buy, but then they have to sell the house. How many people are like that coming to open house? I want to make an offer on this one, but then I can't do that because I have to sell my house. Now there are motivation. So we've worked with so many clients like that. So then you are like getting in a way, a double ending, right? They were buying your property at the same time they were selling theirs, and we are helping to do so. So open house, because Mark has so many experience towards Travis, I'm sure that everybody else in this room, they've done at least one time. And Mark's put on the Instagram about open houses are still working. Some agents said, nah, open houses doesn't work anymore. But I don't know, it works every time, because we only did it 2 times open houses on our listings so far. And we got one buyer's agreement signed, and we have 2 listing appointments. So speaking of business next month, you might be able to get the commission next month is right there. So
Yeah.
the people that you never knew before, like yesterday. So I would suggest, if you have a farm, I would suggest call every listing agent, have listings. And if it's a vacant property, it's kind of easy to do the open house, or you just sit there for Thursday or Friday just to call them up. But some agent is like kind of territorial, then, oh no, I don't want you to do my open house, but not all of them. So if you
I'll add to that real quick, Yuko, is the great thing about our firm is everybody collaborates, effectively. So um, we have so many agents in so many areas that are willing to allow, everybody in our firm to hold open houses.
Mhm.
When I came aboard Real, I was out of open houses, and our colleague Jim, let me hold some of his open houses, so that's one of the benefits, as far as our firm
Yeah.
goes. But
And another thing too is one of the things that Travis and I do when we bring somebody on is we make them do open house with us, because we want them to succeed, obviously. But we show them how we do open house, and
yes,
everybody does it a little bit differently. So everybody's going to pick their own groove and kind of get into a groove at open house. But the most important thing is, do not let, if someone's interested in doing business, do not let them leave without getting their
nope,
information.
exactly.
Nobody will ever call you back. You know why? Because they're going to another open house after they get done with your open house, and that agent's going to have the guts to ask for that information, and they will be doing the follow-up, and they will forget about you, even if they liked you a lot.
Totally.
Because how many times, I mean, all of us have been in that situation where we've talked to somebody and it's like, oh my God, this is such a slam dunk. They're in love with me. I know what they need. I can help them. I can make their dreams come true. But you don't get their information. Just give me a call. You give them your business card.
No,
Waste of a business card. 99 times out of 100. So
yep. So yeah, that's true, Mark. What we actually like to do with our team is we guide them through the open house process, how to set up an appointment. And I'll add this, once I learned about 2 years into real estate, once I learned how to do open houses, I was coached too. We all have coaches.
Yeah.
And Kirby taught me how to do open houses. It doubled my business. I went from 300, 200, 300 grand a year to 5, 6, got up to 700 grand a year. Open houses doubled my business because every open house now, you're there to set an appointment. That's it. Not to get a phone number, not to have a sign-in list. I'm there to set an appointment with either a buyer or a seller. I set up the appointment, the date, the time to meet with them at their home to sign them up as a buyer or seller. That's why I'm open at the open house. And so that's why, we like to, with our team, with our colleagues, we like to show them, have them join us at our open house to see how we actually go through those steps. We internalize it, make it our own, but we go through those steps. So open houses are the best way, besides, turning your contacts into customers,
Mhm.
everybody but then open houses. That's I'm open for business right here. Everybody coming in is a client, and you just have to set that appointment. There's been times when I've been at open houses and I do my open houses for 3 hours. And after an hour, somebody would come in, maybe a neighbor, they want to sell their house. I set up the appointment. It's kind of a nice, hot, sunny day. I'm like, you know what? I got an appointment. I'm going to close up and go surfing. I accomplished my goal for that day.
Yeah, see, Yuko and I, we're a bit more on the greedy side. So, hey, I got my appointment, but Yuko doesn't have one yet. So we got to get
Yeah.
her one now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see myself doing that maybe someday, but I haven't done that yet. But whenever Travis tells me that's like, yeah, God, nah.
I mean, you
I mean,
know what?
that's
It
just an
used to
No,
be.
no,
example.
no. I want to
Yeah.
do it.
I've had people come into my open houses, tell me they want to sell their house. So again, I don't go, oh, here's my business card and I'll call you. No, no, no. Oh, I close up my open house at 4 p.m. How about I come over to your house at 6 o'clock? Boom. I'm there at 6 o'clock and I always have a blank listing agreement with me. So you have to learn at the open houses, you have to learn how to set the appointment, what you have to say to the people, and basically the final line is, what would it take for me to be a realtor? And then they tell you, okay, great, I'm that guy. It's more complicated than that, but
Yeah, but but you're asking tough questions, but they shouldn't be tough. How many
no.
times have people asked you tough questions where it's like, oh, yeah, based on that, yeah, I'll do it. They're asking for the sale, they're asking for the contract. And if you don't ask, and if they don't ask you, you won't do it, right? It's like, so what's it going to take to put you in this car today? Well, hell's going to have to freeze over. All right, I can arrange
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can make that
Okay.
happen.
Hell's going to freeze over.
Yeah,
What else?
yeah, we have
Oh, well,
refrigeration.
yeah, I
But
got to win the lottery. Okay. What else? Well, I guess that's it. Okay. How's 6 p.m. sound?
yeah, yeah. People want to do business with you. They wouldn't have you there otherwise. And you have to go in with that thought in your head too. A lot of times it's like, wow, I'm not feeling wonderful about this. It's like, no, you've got an appointment with them. They want to talk to you. They wouldn't make an appointment with you otherwise. So
And they have to feel your confidence. They want somebody who's confident because we're dealing with multi-millions of dollars on these transactions.
yeah, yeah. Not only
So,
can I do it, I will do it.
I
yeah.
think I would suggest to everybody to look for the listing that's in your farm or nearby or whatever you wanted to do the open house at, and ask agent to if you can open the open house this weekend. And
You're
then
gonna
see
get a lot of
what you think
no's.
you're gonna get following Monday.
Yeah.
Because Monday is a follow-up day, and usually when they're hot, meaning a couple days, you're gonna have to set that appointment. You have to kind of lead into email, or I think conversation is better than email follow-up or texting. So I just call them, hey, them, because they remember the next day. So this is Yuko. They're not gonna say who, oh yeah. So then just to try to set up the appointment. And with that being said, you have to have a conversation during open house to kind of warm up the relationship. So then following up call is much, much easier.
Mhm.
But for Mark and I, our Monday and Tuesday is so busy. It's seriously a lot of follow-up to do. So
Yeah.
if you don't have a database, I really highly recommend it to do the open house
Mhm.
Yes.
weekends. So it's really a business tomorrow. Business could be a referral fee, but could be a listing, could be, just sign up sign the buyer's broker's agreement. And some people walk in with a pre-approval, doesn't have an agent. What's up
Yep.
with that picture, right?
Well, we've
So-
got an appointment this week with a couple that made an offer on one of our properties that we were doing open house at, and they didn't quite qualify for that. But we have an appointment with them this week. They want to sell their house and they want us to find a house for them at a little bit lesser price than the one we were selling. And we've been talking to them for a couple of weeks now. And Yuko, she'll I can't remember what day it is, but she has an appointment with them. I'll go with her. And that's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about listing their house and how that timeline works so that we can make it all happen. And that's pretty cool, right? And that's from an open house. And we've got another one that we're working on from that open house. I don't even know who you're working on from your open houses in Foothill Ranch. But yeah, every listing we get, we do open house at every single one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Works so well.
Awesome.
So let's open this. We have about 15 minutes left.
Questions?
Questions from anybody? If you have a question, please bring it up. And let's it can be anything, but let's try to stick to the subject if possible. And any of you out there that have got some experience with doing an open house or getting business from somebody that you know, that's always the toughest one. Like for me, when I first got into real estate, like 18, 19 years ago, when I first got my license, that was the first thing I heard is work your database. And it's like, oh my God, I can't call my cousin and I can't call my dad and I can't call my friends, and they're going to think I'm an idiot because I'm kind of embarrassed about being a real estate agent or whatever the case may be. And number one, get over that as fast as possible if you're not already over it. Nothing to be embarrassed about. This is an honorable profession, and yeah, people may give us a hard time for doing what we do, but guess what? They still call us when they need us. So obviously we're needed.
Yep.
Make sure and work that database. And again, Travis has a great way of setting it up that works really, really well. And yeah, call them, talk to them, reach out to them, and make sure that they understand what you do. Another problem Yuko and I had all these years is because everybody knows us. We've been real estate agents longer than we've been investors, but everybody knows us as an investor. And so we made the fatal error of being investors first and real estate agents second. Hey, Joe. And the unfortunate thing when that happened is people would go to real estate agents for other things. Now, they're always going to come to us as far as investing. But the big problem lies in when you exude this persona of investor only, that's what people are going to think of, because that's way sexier than a real estate agent in most people's eyes. So be careful the way you present yourself. It's always, I'm a real estate agent first, and I also invest, right? That's how you need to introduce yourself to people. Because otherwise, all they'll hear, if you say I'm an investor first, they're going to blank out everything else, and they want to hear about the hoarder situations you've dealt with, and are the flip shows on TV real, and do you know this flip star? And that's where their head's at. That's all they're thinking about. And then the next thing you know, they're listing a property with another real estate agent that is not an investor. So just be very, very careful with that, guys. If you're investors and you're real estate agents, make sure you're an agent investor, not an investor agent, because you will lose sales to that. Anything to add to that, Yuko or Travis or anybody else? Feel free.
Just remember, I think, sum everything up is like what Mark was talking about in the beginning. Have multiple hats on, have multiple reasons, never leave, an appointment without some type of agreement. And then you do have your database, everybody and get off your butt and start contacting them. Like I said, I gave you an example of one new realtor who joined our firm, and she already has a listing within 2 weeks and 2 listing appointments. In fact, I think we're going on those Thursday or Friday. I'm going with her. And then our final thing was just our open houses. Do open houses. that is business today. Okay. And Mark and I, DM us. We do have videos on YouTube with some of the stuff that we talked about that we, give away to you guys for free. We don't want any money, but do talk to us about those YouTube videos. I have one about how to organize all your contacts and stuff. So any questions about any of that?
Yes.
All right.
How, so I was really, really nervous. I want to go back to contacting our database because I think, give me some thumbs up if even if you're an agent that's got a lot of an experience, are you still nervous about contacting your database? Because I've done it, but I'm still not like completely comfortable with it. And we've gotten work from our database. We just had one like a month and a half ago, Yuko and I did, from some very, very close friends. And it's you're leaving money on the table if you don't do this. Because
Yep.
the stupid thing is somebody else is going to get that business and they may not take as good a care of them. But the funny thing is, here's the funny thing, and this has happened to us before too, is somebody they know what we do, but they saw us as real estate investors more. But then they start having a problem with their agent and they start calling us for advice on it. So bypass that situation, guys. Don't put yourself in that situation. Make sure people know what you do.
Here, Rose or Jarvis. Jarvis has a question. My database is pretty young. Most are looking to rent or have bad credit.
Yeah,
Jarvis, help them do the rentals for them.
yeah.
Do that. Set them up with your mortgage broker to start guiding them down the process of fixing their credit and getting them prepared to buy their own house. Show them the math. I was 29 when I bought my first house and I was paying rent somewhere down on the beach. And I go, wait, if I buy a duplex, I'll be paying less in mortgage than I will renting. So even though they're pretty young, become their lifelong realtor. Okay.
Yeah,
And they have
that's a
parents.
good
They
answer.
have they have parents, they have aunts and uncles, but do the rents for them. You're going to make 25, 3,000 bucks, whatever it is, but guide them through that process. And remember, sign the buyer broker agreement.
Well, the funny thing too is you see a lot of very, very high-end real estate agents that started off doing leases in LA, New York City. I can name them, but you probably know who they are. But a lot of those people turn into buyers, especially like around here. If I rent a house to somebody in Newport Beach, yes, do I want to show someone 15 houses to make 3 or 4,000 bucks? No. But just knowing that I'm taking care of them and that I will take care of them when they decide to purchase, that's enough for me to go ahead and do that. And we also have agents on our
Bridget.
team that we can hand stuff like that off to also. So, also having a team is pretty clutch too when it comes to stuff like that.
Totally.
Uh,
Rosemary did a thumbs up earlier. Did you have any questions, Rosemary? All right. Nope.
yeah. Bridget's saying myfico.com is the best website for credit. And yeah, you can learn, yeah, that's a good one. You can learn how to build your credit. And most people, most people that have bad credit, I'd say the large majority of them don't have the money to put down on a house yet anyway. So it's a whole thing. So, we have multiple lists of people in our database. Like we've got a Hawaii database, we've got agent database, we've got a buyer agent database, we've got a seller database, we've got all kinds of databases, and you guys can break that up and put different databases in there. And you always want to put your rentals in a database and talk about things like the next move, talk about things like credit repair and things like that.
Yeah. And the loan
Also,
options out there. I mean, there's FHA loans, where,
640? Yeah, you got to have a
they
640 credit score. So,
they could put, 3.5% down. They could borrow money from family, so you just have to show them the math. You have to show them the financing.
mhm.
Um,
and
yeah,
also
Bridget,
I
thank
think
you.
it's,
Thank you, Bridget.
finding a buyer side. Um, Or maybe you can list their house as well if they, because we are the investor first, and maybe we're doing investing on the investor side of it. I love agent bringing a deal all the time, right? So investor is the one that buying a property every single day. They were making, 3 or 4 offers one time, and then just to try to get that property, because a lot of times they're gonna have to keep going.
Mhm.
So having those investor on your pocket, and if you see one of those like like a worst house in a great neighborhood, you can contact with them, and their usually escrow is 10 days or 15 days, so you can get paid quicker. And a way to find it, of course, you can find it from Investing Club or whatever, but one way to find it is go to MLS. If you know the house that somebody bought, like doing rehab, or maybe somebody's flipping houses, look up who they are. And MLS, you can see like 123 Main Street LLC. That's a definitely flipper. Or some LLC company buying a property and fixing it, they were investor. So then look them up, how many homes they purchased in the past, and contact with them. Hey, what is your criteria? I can find you a property. And if you have pocket listings, in like our case in the real, we have so many of those, then we can kind of sell it, and you negotiate with them to resell after they clean up. I wanted to list the property because, I know this neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. That's your sales talk, but you can get that. And if investor likes you, they'll keep going back, even though the different area. We did that to agent that, hey, because you're so good, I got this deal. Can you go over to take a look at it? What's the ARV? And maybe I can buy it, and then you can list the property. So if you have a good relationship with the investor, the real investor that really buying it, you already done the research. This company is buying like at least 5 property per 6 months, and they're definitely looking for the properties.
Mhm.
So this is something that you can do the quick money.
Well, the other thing too is that we've got so much access to other business too. The other thing that you can do to get business today is simply drive around. If you've got a farm, drive around your farm. You can drive around any neighborhood. And I would say a full 50%, and I don't know, I'd like to see some people that would agree or disagree with this. A full 50% of every construction job you see is a flip. That's been my findings over the last 17 years of flipping houses. So I will literally, like, if I'm doing a new neighborhood for a flip, I will go to every house under construction in that neighborhood to talk to the contractor. The other thing I'm going to do too, as a real estate agent, and I switch hats, is ask for the owner's phone number or see if the owner's there. And I'll talk to them about, are you looking for more deals? I have a deal source. So that's another thing too, is don't be afraid to walk up to the job site and get that information. Everybody wants a contractor referral. And if you see these guys are doing a good job, get their name and number. And then, like I said, talk to the owner, talk to the developer, and see if they're looking for more deals. And that's the way you can start getting their listings too. Maybe you guys end up getting along so well, you go grab a cup of coffee and you get a listing from them because they need to sell that house, right? So don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to go talk to people.
Joe has a question. How do you handle rejections?
Oh gosh, I with volume, Joe. I mean, you know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying. Rejection isn't so bad if I'm not looking at every deal like it's the only deal. And I think that's been my biggest way to get over rejection, because I do feel like crap. I feel like shit when people reject me, and or when I lose a listing to another agent that I know I can probably do a better job, but I know they've got more dog and pony show, right? They've got a thicker presentation book, and they've got a better suit and everything. I mean, I've only got so many white t-shirts, and that's typically what I wear. So if it's not somebody's vibe, it sucks, but that's me. But yeah, it's working on volume, Joe, and you know this as well as I do. You've been in this
Yeah.
for a long time. When we get rejected and we feel strongly about it, it's typically because we put too much emphasis on that particular appointment.
That one point.
And that tends to make people leery of us because they can feel that. You get that commission breath and people can feel that. However, when you've got a lot of appointments to go on and you can source a lot of appointments by doing just the things we talked about today, you go into every appointment like, look, I know I can do the best job for you if you decide to do business with me. If it looks like we're a good fit for each other, I know I can take the best care of you. And you just go in with that attitude every time. It's hard. I have to admit it's impossible sometimes. And I feel like crap when I lose out to somebody and I think I've nailed it. But if I've got other appointments to go to that week, it takes the sting off. And I'm only trying to get, and I'll let you guys answer this too. I only want to get 2 listings a month. And that sounds like a crap load to most people. And to some people, it sounds a little light. But my goal is to get 2 listings. And if I can get 2 listings and 10 appointments, that's pretty good. My closing rate's a little better than that. But let's say I get a 20% close rate. I'm thrilled with that. So all I got to do is know my numbers, right? I go into, and then I don't have to worry about how I feel. I know that I get 10 appointments, I get 2 listings. I'm not worried about closing each appointment. I'm more worried about getting those 10 appointments. And so it just kind of takes the fear of losing away. I know I get 10 appointments, I average two listings. That works for me. That works for me. So does that help?
Yeah. I'd like to add to that is just having the numbers. When I first several years when I was doing real estate, and I still do, it stings a little bit, but now it maybe stings for a day
Yeah.
because I know I have more appointments coming up. But my big thing is, and Joe will like this, and I speak about this with a lot of you guys, with Mark Yuko, even Joe and I have spoken about this, is just having faith. I know that I put in the hard work, I go door knocking, I have appointments, I will be rewarded. And so if I go on that appointment and they don't choose me, they choose somebody else, I got to have faith that it wasn't right for me and for them. And sometimes I've looked back and gone like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't work with those people. But but then but then I get rewarded. And so my sting used to last a long time the first several years. Now the sting is like a day, like, damn it, did I say something wrong? Did I do this? Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I still have faith. And I just go, okay, get back on the saddle and move forward again. And so I think for me, it's having that faith, knowing that tomorrow, next week, whatever it is, I'll have the next one.
Yeah.
And you know what? It always happens. It
Yeah.
always does. And so I think having that and having the experience um, makes the rejection a lot less stingy. And sometimes, like I said, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. But it all goes back to, I think, just to kind of to dig a little deeper, it goes back to having the appointments in the first place and
Yeah.
doing the work that it takes to get those appointments. So you got to figure out what your vibe is. Are you good at open houses? Are you good at knocking on doors? Well, you should be good at both of those. And then once you have a little bit of money, you can add sending postcards out to your repertoire of knocking on doors. You can do neighborhood get-togethers. There's so many things you can do as you grow in the business, but everybody can knock on a door with a flyer. Every single person can.
Is that
When
true,
I
Travis? Do you give something before the listing though?
do I
Listing,
what now?
Before the listing appointment, you said you will send it to the.
Oh yeah, I'll send them a pre-listing package to kind of warm them up, inform them of everything we're going to do, where it's informative and also brags a little bit about me and the neighborhood and what I've done. So this way, when I go on my listing appointment, they're already prepared. I'd like to swing back to what Mark was saying there. It was, I think, November or January of 2013. I got my real estate license. The next day, I printed out a bunch of flyers and went door knocking. I had no idea how to do a listing appointment. I had no idea how to do anything, but I went door knocking with flyers, and that was basically free. So yeah, it's building that volume and getting the experience and having the faith that it's all going to pay off. And even with not just rejection from listing appointments, but rejection from all your hard work. Sometimes there's times where I don't have a listing or a buyer and 2 or 3 months could go by, but I keep moving forward and having that faith because I know the numbers I'm doing, I will get rewarded.
Yeah,
So
100%. That's,
you
I think,
agree, Joe? What do you think, buddy? All right.
no, I think that's a good note, a good note right there. By the way, guys, one of the things that we're always looking for is to grow our team. So if you guys are interested in working with us and learning how we do what we do firsthand rather than through the Zooms, then reach out to us and let's see if we're a good fit. And if we are, we'd love to talk to you and bring you onto the team and you know, work with you and make you successful. Anybody else have anything to add?
No, thanks for joining us. This was awesome. I
Yeah,
like
thanks,
sharing all
guys.
this info.
Yeah, this is fun.
And
This,
thanks for
So what
everybody
is it?
joining us.
Yeah.
It's good seeing some familiar names on here.
yeah, yeah.
So summarize what business tomorrow? What do we do to get the business tomorrow?
Business today and tomorrow. Um, Definitely everybody has a database, no matter what. Whether you're new or experienced realtor, work your database, pull up all your contacts, put them in a spreadsheet, get it together, start emailing them, start calling them, start, meeting them face to face.
Yeah.
That's free. Second is what Mark talked about is when you are out there face to face with people, have multiple options of what you could do with them for their property, whether you get the listing, whether you could flip it, or whether you just get a simple non-exclusive contract to try and get them the price they want with a buyer. So now you have off-market listing. And then open houses. Open houses is the best thing you could do. You're setting up your
Totally.
office. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. I couldn't agree with what you just said more. Open houses have gotten us more business and will continue to. Will continue to. I mean, where else can you go where you know for a fact that either someone wants to buy a house, someone can buy a house, or someone wants to sell their house?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's in that boat. Everybody that walks into that open house wants to buy a house, whether they can or can't, doesn't matter. It's immaterial. They will probably be able to someday. They go in your database. Somebody goes in there, wants to buy that house, but has to sell their house. Same thing. You are not going to find any better group of people that want to do business than at open.
Yep.
It's just
Yep.
it's just the best place to find people.
Yep.
So and neighbors, everybody's like, I hate it when neighbors come in. I love it when
Love
neighbors.
it. Because guess what? If they're not going to sell their house now, they're going to sell it in 10 years. And as we all know, our last discussion, I was talking about that. How I door knocked this one house for 10 years. I finally sold it for 2.64 million.
Yeah.
Took me 10 years. Hey, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 years. And I can't remember, we broke it down in time. And it was, 7, 8 hours over that 10-year period.
8 hours and
yeah.
Yeah, like $2,000 or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. So pretty inexpensive lead, and he was doing a lot of other things during that time. So, and the other thing too is your homeowners in this, especially if you're working your farm, doing open house in your farm, there's homeowners there that are going to fall in love with you that have no desire to sell their home, but they're going to talk about you to the other neighbors about how wonderful you are if you make a good impression.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, go hit up both of us. We have some stuff for you. If you go to the link in my bio and my link tree, I have a thing called Coffee with Mark, kind of how to get started investing. And if you guys want to learn how to get started investing, by all means, go download that. It's free. Everything's free. I don't charge. I used to have less. I used to have things that I charged a lot of money for, and I don't charge for that anymore. So you guys go there, download it for free, enjoy it. Only thing I ask is just take a screenshot of it, share it, and tag me, just so that I know you enjoy it, so that you love it. And I that's the only thing we get out of this, really, is seeing that you guys are getting something out of it. So we'd appreciate that. Jasmine, it's good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us. We wish you much success. DM us. We have stuff on YouTube. I'm starting a whole farming teachable course. It's not done, but I'm willing to share that, and I'd appreciate any feedback from you guys too on it to make it better. So
Right.
thank you.
You
All right,
guys.
so next Zoom will be the next October, the first Tuesday of the same time. So we will come up with the new topic, what's working in the category, but the new topic that everybody can do it like today, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and if you guys have ideas for topics, we have our own ideas, but if it's something that hits us right, we may do it. So just DM either one of us with that. It could be Yuko, it could be me, it could be Travis, either one of us. Let us know, and if we think it's a great idea, we'll do it. All right.
All right.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.